Recio. She is the founder, teacher, and everything else of Tuesday's Child Academy here in Springfield, Virginia. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. So why don't you first just tell me a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure. So my name is Mil. So I am a preschool teacher by trade. I've been in childcare for the last 17 years. So I was really young.
Yeah.
Like my first gig was working at a preschool.
Okay.
So I got my licensing and all that good stuff out of the way. Childcare is my jam. Like I grew up in my mom is a foster mom.
Oh.
So I've had since very little I've had children come in and out. I've been around children my whole life, so it just feels natural to continue that. So when I think of myself as like a childminder. Like everything that encompasses children, and that's me.
Yeah.
I love like I am the babysitter. Like every time I go home, it's like take care of my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, there you go, and I love it. I mean, I don't have any children of my own yet, so it's super important for me to be involved with children. And
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. Well, what made you decide to start your own preschool?
the pandemic actually.
Yeah.
So I've worked in big daycares pretty much my whole life, and I didn't like the fact that it wasn't very personal, right? So when you're dealing with children, I feel like you have to dedicate a lot of time, energy, love, and when you have a room full of children, like 20 kids at one time, there's just not enough hours of the day to kind of foster, what you want to teach. So, I'm very passionate about teaching. I'm very passionate about teaching STEM, and thanks to the pandemic, I actually started as a pod leader.
Okay.
So a local mom, shout out to Simone, she recruited me. She was her preschool actually closed down at the height of the pandemic.
Okay.
So she's like, I need my child to be in preschool. Like he cannot miss. It was his pre-K year.
Before,
Right. So it was super important. So she rallied up. She recruited like 4 other children to be part of the pod that belonged to the same preschool that shut down.
Gotcha.
And she looked at my resume, said, "You are a teacher. This is what we need." And she hired me, and we based it out of her house.
Okay.
So it was a small pod for children out of her house, and I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I said, I could do this. I can do it. And then my husband, gave me that push, and he said, let's buy a house. And let's build a dedicated space for your preschool. And that way you could be on your own. It could be your own space.
That's
you could dedicate it. You could decorate it how you wanted to. So it was thanks to the pandemic. It actually gave me that little nudge that I needed. I've always wanted to do it. But because of the pandemic, I wasn't working, and it's like I wanted, all the daycares were closed, and so, super smart parents decided to make pods.
Yes, exactly, right? Moms figure it all out.
Exactly. So that gave me a push in the right direction.
And it seemed like you had a great support system around you as well.
Yes.
So give you the nudge.
I really thank my husband, because everything that you see here, he assembled it
together.
I am not fancy when it comes to stuff like that. Like every piece that you see here, it was thanks to him.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, good. Well, what's the meaning behind Tuesday's Child Academy?
Yes, I get that all the time. So it's a very famous nursery rhyme. So it starts off with Monday.
Okay.
Right? And then out of the whole, I think it's like 7 lines for the 7 days of the week.
Yeah.
The line that I love from that poem is Tuesday's child is full of grace. Which I love that, because I feel like children need all the grace in the world, because they're learning. They're just starting out. They don't know it. They don't know better. They're trying to figure it out. And for me as a teacher and as a grown-up, like I feel like they deserve all the grace and respect in the world. And that line kind of stuck out to me.
That's cool.
In the poem. So Do
you know the nursery rhyme?
I don't know it by heart, but it's
or like the name of it.
Monday's Child.
Monday's Child.
Yes, if you Google Monday's Child, you'll see Monday's Child. And then every weekday has a different line. So if your child is born on Monday, your child is this. It's like
okay,
yeah.
That's cute. I'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay.
It's an English. It's an old English rhyme.
Yeah?
Nursery rhyme. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Mother Goose type of.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that. See what my kids fit under. So
Hopefully Sunday or Tuesday, because the other ones are like, I think Monday's like full of woe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think mine were Tuesday and Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the mission statement for your school?
Yes, so our mission is to foster a love of learning. I think as the first stop, I consider myself the first stop to a child's academic journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my mission is to make it fun because that's going to set the tone pretty much. I mean, they're in school for at least 12 years. You know what I mean? At least if they don't go to college. And I feel like a lot of children that I've met through the foster system, because my mom's a foster mom, didn't have that awesome start.
Yeah.
So my mission is to make school fun. Yes, we do STEM. We do, science, technology, engineering, math every single day.
Yeah.
But it's not in a way where I'm sitting here and I'm lecturing them because they're too young for that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll give you an example. Like we'll have, I'll give you an example of a math activity. So we'll have a cutout of a ladybug, and then I have like black beans, and I'll have each child count. Oh, let's give the ladybug 5 spots.
Yeah.
The black beans are the spots, so they get 1. Stuff like that. So it's like I'm teaching them how to add, but it's in an interactive, fun way.
Yeah.
So it's like they think it's a game. They think it's like, oh, let me just pick up the beans, or the beans and put them on, the cutout.
Yeah.
But they don't understand that they're practicing their math.
Yeah.
So that's my mission. It's just making everything fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in a hands-on way too, because that's how I learn. I don't learn from like lectures and stuff.
No.
I need to be able to like touch whatever it is that I'm being taught.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially at that age.
Yeah.
Like they can't sit still, right?
They cannot. They cannot. So it's like I need to, my mission is to, make it fun and just capture their attention span, which is not that long. Because they're children. They're very young children.
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, I think it's like the best compliment when I see a child very engaged in an activity that I made up.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean? Because
awesome.
it's like you can tell they're learning, but they're also having fun.
Yeah.
So that's the mission: to learn, but to have fun while
Yeah.
learning.
That's amazing. Well, what makes your preschool different from other preschool programs in the area?
Yes. So I focus on STEM.
Okay.
Okay. So I make it a point of every single day that we're open. I teach a science lesson, technology lesson, an engineering lesson, and a math lesson, and art. So STEAM, really.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of STEM programs for the 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
Everything is 2.5 up, really pre-K.
Yeah.
4-year-olds kind of get that. So what sets me apart is that I introduce the children at a very young age. In an age-appropriate way. of
Yeah.
course. Not gonna give them history lessons, but yeah. It's a tailored curriculum as well.
Okay.
So like, for example, like let's say your child is into a certain subject. I make it a point in incorporating that into the curriculum that I make myself for the
Yeah.
children. So it's very tailored to like their needs, and and I also meet them where they're at and challenge them. But also culturally too. Like let's say your family celebrates something. I'll give you an example. Last year we had a family that celebrated Diwali.
Okay.
So we're non-religious. We don't get into any of that. But to honor that family's culture, we did diyas, which are little salt dough lamps.
Oh,
And we
okay.
decorated them, and that's something that the people that celebrate Dia, that's what they do. So
Yeah.
it's like stuff like that I try to
Cool.
incorporate. It's very family oriented too.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking for feedback from the parents as well.
That's awesome. Well, and I think it's important for everybody to learn about different cultures as well too, especially in this area.
Exactly.
It's
And
really
I love
important.
learning from everybody else.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't even know, like prior to having those children join our preschool, I didn't even know much about Diwali.
Yeah.
And I searched, I Googled and I researched it, and I was like, oh, this is such a pretty cool activity. So in honor of that, we did an art
That's
activity.
awesome. Yeah. Great. Well, it's nice that you have that flexibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
Having 5 children, we could definitely do a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And art projects are super cool too. My favorite part of the day is when we do science projects because we do some amazing things.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, so you're fairly new, right? You just opened up last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year, yeah.
So what are your goals now for this year after having your school open for a full year?
Right. So I toyed with the idea of having an assistant.
Okay.
Just so I could even do even more. Especially with the pre-K, with the 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
So one of the good things about my program is that I try to teach them how to write. Usually by June, they're already writing.
Yeah.
So why not teach them how to read?
Yeah.
But for that, I'm going to need an assistant because that takes a lot of work
Yeah.
and effort, and also having the 2 to 6 age range. While I'm working with the 4-year-olds how to read or write, then the assistant can work on the 2-year-olds on fine motor skills and stuff that is more age appropriate.
Yeah.
So we can kind of split up the class, maybe be even more in depth.
Yeah.
And hands-on to what we do.
Okay. That makes sense. So what has surprised you the most about starting up your own business and running a preschool?
Yeah. So it's what surprised me the most is that it takes a lot of work, and it's not just work with the children, right? It takes a lot of work juggling parents and different worldviews as well.
Yeah.
So I was really surprised about that because when I used to work at the big daycares, it was just drop off and go, and that's it.
Yeah.
But now that I'm very, very, very involved with the parents.
Yeah.
I see, that side of it, and it's like, okay, this is what we do to kind of foster that, or this is what we do, technically this is considered family childcare.
Yeah.
And families come to me, and then, we collaborate, and our main goal is the children.
Yeah, of course.
So that's very surprising to me that there's more collaboration than I thought.
Yeah.
When it comes to the families as well. So it's not just about teaching children, it's also, bringing the parents on board.
Yeah.
Which I haven't had to do in the big centers.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really. Those big centers don't typically allow for that, right?
Right.
It's like running in. There's just too many kids.
Exactly.
Sit and chat about.
Right. There's not enough time. Yeah. There's not enough
Yeah.
time or coverage. The ratio feels we have to always keep in ratio.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been different for me.
Yeah.
Having to deal with that.
But it's nice that you can have all the families come together.
And there's a lot of communication too. So it's not only I am a big fan of documenting the children's work. So, and I'll tell you why. So the reason for that is because when you ask a child, especially a young child, hey, what'd you do in school today? They're like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
You always get that. I don't know. Unless it's something really big, they really don't remember.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where I come in, and I take pictures of their work or their part at work. So, and I send them at the end of the day to the parents.
Yeah.
So the parents can say, hey, can you tell me, to the child, can you tell me what you were doing when Miss Mill snapped a picture of you doing this?
Yeah.
And then it jogs their memory, and they're like, oh yeah, Miss Mill taught us this, or we did this really good activity. So that's also
awesome. Yeah.
bridging the gap between the parents and I, or the parents and the children. So
Yeah.
I want the parents to be 100% on board with the academic journey that they're going to be on.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of cool, fun things. So
Yeah.
when they see the finished product, I want to show the parents how they got there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what were the steps that the children took?
And then, the child will be able to talk about it as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then that's the engagement part of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so videos and pictures on the daily.
Yeah. Well, so for your program, what are the days that you're open, times, things like that?
Yes, so we're open Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Okay.
From 8:45 in the morning till 3:45 in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's school hours.
Yeah.
School here, I think Lynbrook, they close at 3:45. Yeah, it ends at 3:45. So right when the school closes. The reason for that is because I used to be open till 5, and what I noticed is at 4 o'clock, the children are burnt out.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's such a structured program and we do a lot.
Yeah.
We do a lot of work. So by the afternoon, they're like, oh, when I go home.
Yeah.
And I saw that, the mood shifted, and I was like, okay, let me shorten the hours. And to see it, and they do really good.
Yeah.
They just, it works out for everybody.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, 8:45 to 3:45. There's also a part-time option for 8:45 to 12:45.
Okay.
For the parents that think that their child is not quite ready.
Yeah.
Or like the younger ones, like the twos usually start off.
Yeah.
But then, the biggest compliment that they tell the parents that they want to stay, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
at that age they have FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
So like
That
they come,
person's saying,
yeah, and then or the next day, they talk amongst themselves in full on conversations, and they tell each other what they did.
Yeah.
So I had a child last year who was like, Mom, like I got picked up early, so I didn't get to do this and this.
Yeah. They missed out.
They missed out. So then the mom was like, oh, you want to be in school full time?
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Have fun.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the best way if families have questions about your program to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I have a website, and it's TuesdaysChildAcademy.com.
Okay.
But to get in contact directly with me will be through email,
Okay.
and that's Mil, M-I-L, at TuesdaysChildAcademy.com.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll post this all on a slide as well.
Oh,
so
thank
everybody
you.
has that at the end too.
Thank you.
And then lastly, I know you're fairly new to the area, but being new, what are some things that you found that you really like to do with your husband in Northern Virginia?
So hiking. I'm new to the
Yeah.
hiking world. Yeah.
In Brooklyn, yeah, there's no.
There's none. Unless you go upstate, there's none.
Yeah.
Right? So here, like the closest hiking trail is less than a 5-minute drive.
Yeah.
Which is like a contact.
Yeah.
It's super close. So I have a husky.
Oh.
Yeah, he's so cute. He's a 1-year-old husky, so we take him out there and we hike because they have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So we all burn a lot of energy. So hiking is like my jam now.
Oh, good for
yeah.
you.
Being from the city, I didn't think I was gonna like it.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful. It's like the air smells different, and it's such a adrenaline rush. I love it.
Well, going in different seasons here too. That's what's really nice about this area is the different seasons. So fall is a beautiful time, and then it's great to go in the spring, and then you can get out there early in the summer. It just all looks different too.
It's so nice. It's such a different pace from the city.
Yeah, where you're hiking walks.
Right. There's a lot of walking.
Yeah.
But there's the scenery, it's just buildings. But here it's you can see the beautiful greenery, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your success of starting a new business. That's really great. It's not easy to do. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding. I've always knew that I was going to be involved with children in my career, and this is my jam.
Yeah.
This is what I love to do.
Awesome. Well, I hope you have a great year, a successful year.
Thank you.
That you get more people curious about your program now.
Thank you. Yeah, I would love to get the word out.
Yeah.
So people could see and say, hey, that's a preschool. So we're different from daycare. So we're not daycare.
Okay.
Daycare is less structured. It's more play-based. This is play-based, but towards the end of the day. So it's mostly preschool. So you're gonna get the full preschool experience, which is how can I get these children as ready as they can for kindergarten?
Yeah.
Cutting, writing, to the point where the teacher's oh, great, I don't have my work cut out for me.
Yeah. You can tell them.
And also, I believe in giving a leg up.
Yeah.
For children, I think that is the best thing you can do for a child is give them the tools and a leg up and a little advantage, because it's hard to get. Sometimes you get overlooked in the school system, so I think it's imperative for the parents to give them a leg up and structure.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks again for meeting with me.
Thank you so much, Leslie.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.